All right, let's look at some of the flaws of the Electoral College. These will be reasons cited by people that want to ditch the Electoral College and move on to something else, usually direct popular election. So, what are the negatives of it? Like, what are some of the arguments to get rid of it? First is that our system definitely has the potential for faithless electors. Faithless elector is one of the electors sent by the state to cast their vote as an individual for who the state's going to support in the presidential election in December when the electors go to the state capitals. Except they don't vote for who the state majority indicated they wanted as a candidate, they vote for somebody else. Now, most states have laws that require their electors to vote for the candidate that the majority of the people in the state indicated they wanted elected. But there are a handful of states that don't have any rules, and these electors are free to vote penalty free for whoever they want. For example, there are several candidates that got electoral votes in the 2016 election that weren't even on the ballot. Bernie Sanders got an electoral vote from a faithless elector. John Kasich, former governor of Ohio, got an electoral vote. Colin Powell, former Secretary of State, got three. State Spotted Eagle, Native American and environmental leader, received one. So that's a tough explanation when you have these electors going renegade and voting for someone that the state didn't even want them to vote for. It could depress voter turnout. If you are living in a state where you're in the extreme minority of political parties and you're not contributing to an overall national vote total, this may not make you not want to participate in the system. So if you're a Republican that lives in California, you're outnumbered. Your vote in a presidential election is not going to a national total; it's just going for the state of California, and you know there's so many more Democrats than you, and that your candidate's only going to get something if they win the majority of the vote. That you're not even going to bother showing up. Or same thing if you're a Democrat that lives in Texas. It may make you not want to even participate because you know your candidate's not going to win the majority in the state. It renders third parties irrelevant because it's winner take all, and essentially you have to get a majority of the votes in the state to win the electoral votes. It means that the little parties really have no chance. So it really discourages third parties, and it leads to a system where you only have two options in almost every presidential election. Also, it overrepresents the small states. I know you're inclined to like look at North Dakota or Wyoming and feel bad that they only have three electoral votes. But to be honest, to keep it real, like they don't deserve their three electoral votes. It's more than they deserve, and they only have three because they automatically get two because everybody gets two because of the two senators. For example, if you look at Alaska, Delaware, D.C., Vermont, Wyoming, add them all together, and they have the same number of electoral votes as Florida. Yet Florida has considerably more people that live in Florida than all of those areas combined. You could argue that the Electoral College makes the small states more influential than they should be. And also, you have the potential in our system to have the person that actually gets the most votes from the people not win the Electoral College. And that's tough to explain. But there are several presidents, including Trump in 2016, who won the Electoral College fairly sizably, right, by a comfortable margin, but actually received less votes than his opponent, Hillary Clinton. Well, like, how could this happen? If you look at this scenario where I'm running against you to be president of the United States, and we just look at two states, in Pennsylvania, I get 1.5 million people to vote for me, and you get 1,499,999 because Pennsylvania's winner take all. I get all of Pennsylvania's 20 electoral votes. So after one state, I only have one more popular vote than you, but I have 20 more electoral votes. In North Dakota, I only receive one vote, but you receive five, I should say 500,000. You receive all of North Dakota's electoral votes, which is three. So after two states, I have considerably less overall votes than you do, but I have more electoral votes, and that's what matters. And that's how every once in a while you can have a setup where the candidate that gets the most popular votes doesn't have the most electoral votes.